Hi guys, how are you doing? This is Sebastian from Tech Century and welcome to this new video. 3 weeks ago I received my brand new OnePlus Nord and today it's time to make a tough decision whether this smartphone becomes my new daily driver or if I'm sticking with my 1.5-year-old Galaxy S10. So while I'm certainly a geek at heart and while I would love to have every smartphone out there in my drawer so that I can pick the best from every smartphone, this is impossible and I have to be responsible with my money. And since I'm only able to carry one smartphone at a time, I'm deciding that I'll leave one of these devices behind. So either I'll sell my old Galaxy S10 on eBay, or I'll just return the OnePlus Nord to Amazon. So first off, I want to share my experiences with the OnePlus Nord with you guys in the past 3 weeks. First off, I really have to say I absolutely love this marble blue color that you see right here. And then I also really love the included case that was included in the box here of the OnePlus Nord, which I think first off just looks very amazing here with this transparent or also frosted finish, and also just protects the device very well, is very grippy in the hand, and also even has a cover here for the USB Type-C port. And this is something that I haven't really seen on other cases before, and this just is one of my favorite cases ever. So I'm really happy that OnePlus includes this straight into the box. So there's basically nothing that you have to pick up. When you pick up the phone, you're good to go. You have a screen protector on the front, you have a great case included, and this is absolutely amazing to see, especially at this price point. Another really positive surprise for me was definitely the display, and I'm not talking about the 90 Hz refresh rate here, but instead that it's flat, which I really prefer compared to the curved display on my S10, because especially when you drop it, there's a high risk that the display shatters and this gets incredibly expensive at Samsung, but also that we have a good brightness for outdoor visibility at around 550 candela, and this has been an issue for me on other smartphones in the past like the Pixel 2, and I'm glad to see that this isn't the case here on the OnePlus Nord and that you can definitely use it outdoors without any issues. But now let's actually start off taking a look at the advantages of each of these smartphones, starting off with the OnePlus Nord. First advantage is definitely software updates, because OnePlus is known for delivering these software updates very fast. Sometimes it feels like they're even faster than Google, but for sure they are much faster than Samsung. So this is definitely a huge advantage. If you want to have the latest features first, then either get a Pixel or OnePlus. Next up, we also have an ultra-wide angle selfie camera. Now I'm not really one who takes a lot of selfies, but if I want to fit my wife and also our dog Samu into a frame with me, then this ultra-wide camera is absolutely amazing and I really enjoy it for that. And this is something that I'm missing on my Galaxy S10, because sometimes the arm just isn't long enough. Last but certainly not least, there's an advantage for me that I wasn't really expecting, and that is slow motion video. Now don't get me wrong, the Galaxy S10 also has pretty good slow motion video, but I've always had an issue with it, and that is that it's very choppy and it seems like there are frames repeating itself. And I actually also had the very same issue on my Note 10 Plus, so I'm not sure if that's an Exynos issue here in Europe, but it really bothers me because I take a ton of slow motion video of our dog Samu, and therefore it just sucks if it's very choppy, and this is not the case here on the OnePlus Nord. It's very smooth and I really like the slow motion video. Next up, I also quickly want to talk about some advantages that are for me only advantages on paper but not in real life. First off, the 90 Hz refresh rate. Yes, it's nice. Yes, I see a difference compared to 60 Hz, but I don't really see it as a huge feature that I really need to have. And I just don't feel bad going back to a 60 Hz screen, because that's just fine for me as well. Now when you listen to some other reviews here on YouTube, it seems like you really need to have a high refresh rate on your smartphone in 2020. I honestly disagree. Yes, it's nice to have, but not a big deal in my opinion. So I would be interested to hear what you guys have to say. Do you think high refresh rate displays are important in 2020, or are they just nice to have and a gimmick? I don't know. I'm kind of split in between. Yeah, it does look better, it's a little bit smoother, but yeah, no big deal if you don't have it. Then next up, 5G. I don't think this will be a relevant feature for me in the next 2 to 3 years, and to be honest, I won't keep either the Galaxy S10 or the OnePlus Nord for such a long time, so it doesn't matter to me that the S10 doesn't have 5G, I just couldn't care less. Last but not least is Oxygen OS, and that kinda hurts a little bit in my heart because I've been a big fan of Oxygen OS in the past because it has been so close to stock Android and also added some really nice new features. But it seems like with Android 11 that Oxygen OS is actually moving more towards One UI, which is what we find here on the Galaxy S10, so that OnePlus tries to establish their own identity with a skin. And this is something that I don't really like. I always loved that Oxygen OS was so close to stock Android. This doesn't seem to be the case anymore, so to me it just isn't an advantage anymore. One thing that I have to add to this is also that One UI on Samsung devices, in my opinion, has just improved a lot in the last couple of years, and it's not really comparable to the awful touch width that we had like 10 years ago. But now it's actually time to take a look at the advantages of the Galaxy S10. First off, I definitely have to mention the official IP rating, so this device is waterproof, and there's an IP rating to prove this, and I've used it so many times in the rain and I never had any issues with it, and I'm definitely just much more comfortable. Now there is, I think, also ingress protection here on the OnePlus Nord, but just no official rating, so I prefer and I put more trust towards the S10 for that reason. Next up are definitely the stereo speakers. I watch a ton of YouTube videos and stereo speakers are just amazing and I don't want to miss them anymore, and the mono speaker on the OnePlus Nord just doesn't cut it for me, just doesn't sound good and it's easy to block. We also have a high resolution ultra wide camera with a 12 megapixel sensor instead of 8, and it's also a wider field of view, and if you have an ultra wide camera you want to capture as much into the frame as possible, so this is definitely an advantage here for the S10. Next up, I definitely also have to mention the display, because well, I mentioned that the display on the OnePlus Nord is really nice. The one on the S10 is even better, especially when it comes to brightness. It reaches a maximum brightness of around 710 candela outdoors, so this is a big improvement over the 550 here on the OnePlus Nord. And I also really prefer the screen size with 6.1 inches compared to the 6.44 on the Nord. I'm happy to see that the Nord isn't as huge as the OnePlus 8, but I just prefer to have smaller smartphones. And last but certainly not least, I also have to mention 4K 60 video recording, which is possible here on the S10, but not possible on the Nord. It only records up to 4K 30, and I often use 4K 60 footage to slow it down for a more cinematic look, and this just isn't possible at all on the Nord, so that's a big downfall. And as you can probably already tell, I found more pros for the Galaxy S10, and this is also the reason why I've decided to return my OnePlus Nord to Amazon, because in the end it just doesn't have a single feature that I really want so bad that I would be worth it dropping my S10 for it. I thought that the 90Hz display might be it because of the just hype overall, but in the end it's just a small difference for me, and things like the stereo speaker, the better display, and also just the IP rating are definitely aspects that really make me appreciate the S10 and really just make me think that the S10 is the better device for me moving forward. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about the S10 or the OnePlus Nord in the comments below, and I hope to see you next time.